Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Merriman. To my right, my lovely co-host with the done-up hair on her Wednesday morning. As always, Sally deFries. Good morning, Sally. How are you?
Good morning, Brett. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. This is 29, Sally.
This is 29.
29. 29. Feels interesting.
I didn't realize you were 5 years younger than me.
Am I?
Well, almost 5 years. But
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is. Me and Randy now, same age.
What are you going to do for the big 3-0?
Good question. Haven't thought about it. This is my 30th year though, which is weird to think about.
Yeah, I will be going into my 35th year, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I plan on. I don't know. I'm kind of. I've never really been a big, like, birthday guy,
Mm-hmm.
and with Rachel's help this year, it's been more of a like, hey, let's do stuff, let's do things. I've always had like a little like day of party or something like that, but we're having like a actual birthday thing, like birthday party.
Blowout, right?
I wouldn't call it a blowout. We're just going to ski shores.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun.
I may make it.
You're a hard attentive maybe.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, redundant, but
depending on the babysitter situation.
We'll
Unless you want me to bring Fritz.
Unfortunately, Will is gone.
Will's gone.
He's playing like 97 holes of golf in 3 days with a bad back.
I think his back is better, but we do need to discuss the injuries on your softball team.
We're dropping like flies, Sally.
And here's the thing. So Randy's hurt.
Randy has not one, but two pulled quad muscles. Both of them.
Dan is hurt.
Dan may have a torn calf. Dan could not put weight on his leg. This is Dan Regester, for those of you that may know. Could not walk. Had to be two humans basically carried him out of the
So you're saying
field.
they don't come out with like a golf cart with like a gurney on it? Like
yeah, and
the
Fox injury music plays like do, you know. No.
Did everyone take a knee when he was walking off the...
No, you could tell he was in rough shape though. He did it like running to first base. Like, he hit the ball, you see the ball go do its thing, and then you look back and like, where's oh, he's really struggling getting out of the box. It was not good. Randy actually got hurt.
I don't feel like that there should be this many injuries in softball.
There shouldn't. Randy got hurt on the first pitch of the game. He was fine. We were up first. We were batting. Randy swings, makes contact, and goes to run, and it's just, you see him, and I'm like, oh no.
I mean,
pulls up.
To be fair, I think Will hurt his back legitimately just like getting out of our bed. So
yeah, I feel like that's like a once a quarter thing for Will though. He gets the back thing going a little bit.
It's more often. And here's the issue that all of you need to do is you need to start stretching.
I agree. I'm a stretching. I do a bunch of yoga now. I love it. I'm a stretch guy.
Put on like a 10-minute stretch video.
Stretch video. I get, do a walk in the morning now. I've moved my my alarm to wake up in the morning a full hour ahead.
So you're doing like a hot girl walk in the
morning? I'm doing a hot girl walk into a little workout, into a shower, and then come to work. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Summer of Brett.
Summer of Brett. Some people are saying, honestly. Nobody's saying.
I think Will's issue is that he needs to like do a sit-up. Like a crunch would be helpful.
Maybe even like a reverse, like a back extension. Get the back muscles going a little bit.
He's got to tighten his core up a little bit.
Some
I think if he had some core support.
Have him do yoga. Wasn't he doing a yoga journey at some point?
Yeah, I did yoga for the first time in like, I don't know, 3 months yesterday.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Not even difficult yoga video.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 20 minutes long of like mostly stretching with like 3 intermittent planks. Okay.
Sure.
For 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I ran a marathon today. It is so upsetting how fast your body deconditions.
It is.
At this age if you don't work out.
Oh yeah. Like, I play hockey 2 to 3 times a week now, and like basically just had a couple things where I had the PGA Championship, and then on Tuesday we had a skate get canceled, and so like you went 3 weeks basically with only playing like once, and even then my legs are cement. It's just like, come on, man, what am I doing?
You're old now. You're in your 30th year.
Yeah, the drinks and the queso probably don't help, but I'm
No.
just saying, like, why can't I just bounce back?
It's the summer of stretch, people. You gotta stretch it
Stretch.
out.
Get your stretch on. That's why Tom Brady looks so good. It's just like all stretching and plyos and stuff, and eating like a crazy person obviously helps. But hydrating and stretching is and moving basically. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Hydrate,
That's the end
stretch,
of
and
the
move. That's just
podcast.
living. Yeah.
We did it in 5 minutes. We
And
changed the world.
communicate. Speaking of the podcast, we answer questions, help you out. Sorry for missing last week. We both ran into scheduling things, and basically just you guys were doing Memorial Day stuff anyway, so you didn't want to hear from us.
Yeah,
So.
you don't care.
Subscribe on iTunes, follow on Spotify, hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That is 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Hit up the store, washmedia.shop, and hit up the YouTube, youtube.com/Mail-In Podcast. You want to jump right in, Sally? Here we go. Sally, you've got great fashion. Shouts. Where are we getting good wedding dresses now as 30-somethings? I'm going to a lot more black tie weddings now, and I'm lost. Rent the Runway isn't doing it for me anymore, and neither are the department stores. Sorry, Randy. Kohl's is out. Ouch.
Kohl's is out, Randy.
Kohl's is out on women's wedding dresses.
Okay. If you ask my friends, and we had this conversation in New York, so this is kind of topical. I'm a big shop bop gal.
Shop bop.
Shop bop.
Is that like fast fashion?
No.
Okay.
It's like an online, essentially, department store of like women's wear and beauty and stuff, accessories.
Sure. Shop bop.
Shop bop.
Yeah.
Revolve.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that name a lot. Revolve.
Shop bop, I think, is for Revolve. Serves probably a little bit of a younger clientele because they have some like higher end stuff, but then they also have some like not fast fashion, but like more like younger, cheaper brands. Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I do a lot of browsing on Shopbop and Revolve just to get a general taste of what I like.
It's sort of a Pinterest kind of thing. And then you go from there and then you kind of take your paths. Okay.
Both can be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Shopbop does a couple like friends and family sales a year. They just have one. They'll do one again in probably like September or October. And then they'll randomly like have like sales on certain brands and stuff. Revolve, I'm pretty sure the code TULIP will always get you 10% off.
Interesting.
Shouts.
Little secret there.
I haven't used it in a few months, so I don't know for sure. But usually you can get 10% off, which at least covers like your tax. Yeah. But what I start there, and I just like because I'm bored in the OR and just like to shop, will like just favorite stuff. And I like from the what's new.
Interesting. Okay.
And both of these websites, when you like find something you like, usually if you go down on the page, it's like other things like this, and it has like
it's like something you may be interested in so and so,
or wear this with, which is helpful too. So I start there. What I'm going to say about wedding dresses or dresses you're going to wear to someone's wedding, wedding guest dresses, perhaps, is that I have found that I spend a lot of money in my 20s on dresses going to other people's weddings. And then once you've bought an expensive dress, your cost per wear is astronomical because you're photographed in it. It's all over people's Instagrams.
You don't want to run it back.
And then you feel like you can't wear it again, especially if you're going to weddings within the same group of people.
Yeah.
That you're like, now I've spent $300 on a dress and I literally get to wear it maybe another time.
Yep.
That's $150 per wear.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And I spend a lot of my 20s doing that, buying expensive dresses to wear like once or twice.
Yeah, you sort of buy for the occasion.
Right.
You're like, oh, this is so-and-so's wedding. It's somewhere. I'm going to kind of go local flavor or like whatever the spring, I think you end up doing that.
Right. So that's where Rent the Runway came in. I'm personally not a Rent the Runway gal,
Okay.
but that's where that came in. It was like, well, you're basically like paying to rent this for a little bit less than what your cost per wear would be probably,
I see.
which
Okay.
makes sense. All of that being said, well, I think when you find your inspiration, it's pretty easy, or at least for me, to like go in and find the high-low options. So the
Mhm.
high options being like Shop Bop, Neiman's, Saks, etc.,
Okay.
or straight from the brand itself, which honestly sometimes will get you a better deal. So like say you find this great like Zimmerman dress, Zimmerman's super expensive, but sometimes you can find a better deal buying it directly from the brand itself versus buying it like from Saks.
Got it. Okay. It's interesting stuff. Like Rachel she's dealing with this right now for like Klein's wedding.
Yeah.
Shout out to Klein, where she has like a million tabs pulled up. She's like, "Does this look good? Does this look good?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "They all look good, but can you alter Rent the Runway stuff?"
No.
So that's kind of important. I feel
Yeah.
like. So if you can't alter it, I know she's on Revolve. I know like she just has a million tabs open. There's got to be like a better way to do this for nice stuff,
I
right?
think if you ask Will, and he's not happy about this, I do a lot of online shopping, but I also do a lot of returning.
You are the return queen.
So I personally would rather have it shipped to my house so I can try it on.
Mhm.
This is probably not very environmentally friendly. I'm just going to say it out
Your
loud.
carbon footprint is massive. You're like this Bigfoot carbon footprint.
And then I return it.
Ricky, can you put Sally's face on a Sasquatch body
Okay.
with a dress on?
Okay. All that being said, though, there are options, especially once you kind of figure out what like the moment you're trying to go for is.
Sure.
I have found great wedding guest dresses at Zara, at H&M, at Mango, that like you maybe buy something and then you elevate it with like the shoes or the accessories. But the
Ah,
biggest thing for me is fit and fabric. So if you're gonna buy something from fast fashion, I'm not talking Shein. There's no redeeming
Randy,
qualities of Shein.
Randy.
Randy, as he's massaging his quad. Uh I think like Zara especially is one of those brands where like I will see something like, God, that looks great, but I am not a 5'10" willowy model. And so
Okay.
you have to, if you're gonna do that, number one, the fabric needs to not look cheap.
Okay.
Okay. So we're talking like you don't want like fake
Yeah,
leather shit
I
that
know what you
looks
mean.
bad. Just because what you're gonna be in person and people are gonna be able to tell,
Yeah.
Number two is use alterations to your advantage. So if you buy something on the cheaper side, like hem it to where it really should fall on your calf versus like letting it be a couple inches longer than where it's supposed to be,
Sure.
or like take it in on the waist so it looks better. And then finally, my other thing is, and this isn't like telling you specific brands, but use your friends. Okay. Because then at a certain
Mm,
point, it's like, I saw my friend Bailey wear this dress, loved it. She wore it to my wedding. I wore it to somebody else's wedding.
there you
Now somebody else
go.
is wearing it
Okay.
to a
It's like
different
rent
wedding.
each other's runway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the thing is, that person's in the same dilemma you are. You just bought a $300 dress. They did too. Now they can't rewear it. And you can be
Hmm.
like, can I borrow that dress?
It's about getting that cost per wear down. You also have like the sisterhood thing. You have like a lot of options if you
We do, but like all of us have very different styles,
physiques and styles.
physiques and styles.
Got it. Okay.
So it makes it difficult.
Yeah, it does. I get that.
But I have borrowed many a thing from my sister Natalie
Mhm.
and sometimes Emily. Not as
Okay.
much Lily.
Okay. Damn,
Um,
shots fired.
not shots fired at Lily. Lily and I just don't really like have the same sizing,
Yeah.
and we
Okay.
also
Gotcha.
don't wear the same stuff. Some of the brands
It's
I'm really
tough.
vibing right now. I'm just gonna like put this out there and the week
Mhm.
can be done.
Okay.
I'm really into the brand Stod. They've got some great dresses. They are on the more expensive side if you can like find anything on sale. But they have some really fun summer stuff. If you are like going to a fun Cabo wedding, Farm Rio is great. They're really colorful.
Like a kind of a beachy
Yeah,
vibe.
but that's a vibe where you definitely can't wear it again because it's like a full blown like you look like you're like Chiquita Banana,
Okay.
which has a time and a place.
Mhm.
I Zimmerman's always a classic, but all that stuff is so expensive. So for me, it's like buy a basic that you can wear a lot of times versus like a print is a way to save money.
Okay.
I really like the brand Rode. Rhode. That's not to be confused with the road, Haley Bieber Road, different
Nor
road.
the road mites we're speaking into right now.
Correct. I'm actually wearing a road dress to my sister's wedding and then probably running it back for Klein's wedding.
Oh, okay. Let's ride.
Yeah.
I like that.
2
'Cause it's two
different
different
totally
friend groups. You'll
different
be
friend
good. You'll be
groups,
good. Yeah, absolutely.
and I don't care if the pictures are the same, to be
I have
honest.
2 things, Sal. One, I am currently, and have been in my 260 samples sale era.
Oh, yeah,
Familiar with this?
we talked about this a couple podcasts
Where
ago.
it's like, I mean, the problem is you don't know what brands are coming up on it and stuff like that, but it's like 70 to 80% off stuff. They don't have a bunch of sizes or anything, but it's I have bought something pretty much like every month on that, whether it's
Okay, but
pasta bowls or
what's the
shirts or
return policy on this?
I have no idea.
This is what I'm gonna
Famously not
say.
a returner.
Yeah. If you're doing that, be careful with, like, an all sales final situation for
It very
girls.
well maybe, because
If you don't know your size well. And I know my size well, and I know myself well enough too to, like, size up and then alter it if I need to versus, like, nothing is worse than getting something that's too small and then you can't return it.
got it. I agree. Second thing I have, this is people are gonna yell at me for this, but what is the difference between a cocktail dress, sundress, maxi dress?
So normally a black tie wedding,
Mhm.
which this person asked about,
Is gown usually, right?
a gown.
Ball gown, dress.
No, you don't need like a full ball gown, but most people are going to wear a long dress,
Okay. Floor dress.
a floor length maxi dress.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. A maxi just refers to the length. So like
Maxi equals floor.
floor.
Okay.
Midi is when it hits like your mid calf.
Okay.
Knee or mini is where your knee is. A lot of people are going to wear a long dress to a black tie wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is not a requirement anymore if you have a fun, elevated, shorter dress.
Okay.
You can wear a short dress, but it's got to have like, it needs to be like embroidered or beaded or sequined or something like that. It needs to have some wow factor.
I know what all those mean.
Yeah. Most like summer weddings are going to be like a sundress is something you just throw on to go
I
like run
forgot.
errands.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sun, maxi. Cocktail? This is the other one I'm thinking of.
So cocktail is usually like a short dress that's like a little bit more glammed up than
Okay.
just some cotton dress you're going to
Has some
throw on to
zhuzh to it?
go. Usually you can interchange like a nice cocktail dress with a long dress for
Okay.
a black tie wedding.
And sundress is more about the casual nature than necessarily the format.
Correct.
Okay.
A lot of like summer weddings like Klein and Lexi's will be a lot of more like summery sundress-esque things, but they're
Sure.
going to be a little elevated. They're not going to just be like eyelet cotton. You know, that it'll be
Okay.
usually bright colors.
I like it.
Yeah. What do you think of when people have black tie optional as a wedding? Do you wear a black tie or
Yeah, I
wear
do.
a suit
I do because I have very few excuses anymore
to wear
to wear a tux.
Yeah.
Not that I have a tux, but I do enjoy renting a tux.
Yeah.
And like I don't have a million suits, so it just gives me an option to wear something that's elevated and different. Yeah. So if it's black tie optional, I defer to black tie because I like it. Unless we're getting married in Mexico in July,
Yeah.
then it's obviously different. But
Right.
yeah, I'll err on the side of black tux.
Okay.
You know what brand I'm really messing with right now though?
In the summer?
Muggsy. Shouts to the boys and girls, I guess, at Muggsy. They're the best. And they make the most comfortable jeans, chinos, and joggers ever. Made from buttery soft, patented stretch materials that look stylish but are insanely comfortable. Never too baggy, never too tight. And they're frankly the best thing to happen to legs since chairs.
Wow.
You kidding me? What a tagline.
That's a statement.
Never in human history have legs been so spoiled by pure softness and comfort while looking so damn good. The guys at Muggsy have one mission in life. Give every man the confidence to walk blindly into their closet, reach out, and know whatever they pick will have them looking good and feeling even better. And I can confirm the F out of that. Muggsy jeans dominate my my denim wardrobe right now. Not only on the bottom where they're cool match, like I wear these light jeans. Those are all Muggsy. They fit great, and they have a stretch that's enough where you're like, okay, I feel really comfortable, but not so much that you look like you're wearing the sweatpant jeans
Right.
because those can get a little bit much sometimes. But Muggsy toes the line perfectly, perfectly, and they make these denim tops that are awesome. Like, I was never really, like, a denim jacket guy till Muggsy put one on me, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Go off." So that's what I've been doing. They also have really comfortable, like, crew neck sweaters. Just throwing that in there, and really comfortable chinos.
Wow.
How about that for personal endorsement, Muggsy? I have an entire wardrobe of Muggsy stuff, and I love it. Like I mentioned, cool mats, air conditioners for your legs, perfect in summer in Austin, because I famously don't love shorts, especially wearing them out to bars or things like that.
That's a bonkers move in Austin, by the way.
And guess who has my back?
Muggsy.
Muggsy.
They have a store in downtown Austin,
They
don't they?
sure do. We helped open it.
I remember.
Yeah.
Famously.
Famously. Head to Muggsy.com and get 10% off now using code MAIL. That is 10% off some of the most premium jeans, chinos, swimwear, and shorts on the internet. Muggsy also offers free shipping and free returns, Sally. So there's absolutely no risk to giving them a spin. If you're in Chicago or Austin, like we mentioned, make sure to head downtown and check out their storefront. Easy vibes every time. Enjoy a beer as you shop. If you're in Boston or DC, keep an eye out for a Muggsy store coming in June.
Wow.
I know.
Shouts.
Again, code MAIL, 10% off, MAIL. Enjoy your Muggies this summer. Next one, so.
What are the keys to being more conversational? I find myself freezing up in moments with my significant others, friends or family, or my friends' friends. His
I th-
friends' friends.
Yeah, my
friends
friends'
of
friends.
friends.
Yeah,
Okay.
friends of friends.
I know the general idea of not asking one word answer questions, but I struggle sometimes with my body language and conversational cues in social situations. Any advice is helpful to sort out my mental block.
And get this. He is, or she, is so in their head.
Yeah,
And that's when you can't be having a conversation with somebody else when you're having a conversation with yourself.
right.
Boom.
I have actually thought about this recently
Mm-hmm.
because I have realized that I'm one of those people who lets people ask me questions and I do not reciprocate. I'm a real
Oh, I see.
selfish conversationalist,
Okay. I think
Spe-
I am too, for what it's
especially
worth.
like at work and stuff, where people will like ask me about Fritz and things, and then I just like do not reciprocate. And part of the
Okay.
reason is because people will ask about Fritz by name, and then I'm like, I don't know what your kids' names are, or if you even have a son or a daughter.
I see. Okay.
Here's what I've realized. We have to let go of that. I think the expectation to know every detail about someone's life and like continue that needs to chill. Especially
Mm.
when you're around like other your friends' families or friends, and
Friends of
you're
friends,
not
yeah.
like with people that you know intimately. You're not expected to know all the intimate details of their life.
No, even with like, what do you do? And if it's something not like doctor, lawyer,
Right.
I can meet somebody 6 times
Yeah.
and just like, what are you doing again? Like, what's the oh, that's right. Okay.
And it's really easy to fall back to the like, how's work going? How's your kid?
Super easy.
How's your whatever? But that is not going to like really lead anywhere because everyone has that same conversation. It's almost like talking about the weather.
Yeah.
One of my
Although,
friends, oh, sorry, continue.
well, just gonna that's an easy way to like basically what I do in a conversation with somebody that I don't know very well or have just met is you start off with the most broad possible, like relatable topics, weather, job, kids, sports. And then you find like whatever vein that you can tap, like the 6 degrees of separation, like, oh, you know Jonesy? Oh, like I used to play hockey with Jones. Like, there's some vein you can tap where there's like that next level of getting to know somebody that you'll have some sort of thing in common. Unless you don't. And then you're just like, well, we are not vibing. I'm gonna go get a cocktail shrimp. But you gotta find like how do you be more conversational? Start broad, cover a lot of different area quickly, find one vein that you can tap into, whether it's a common friend, a common interest, not just like sports broadly, but like, oh, I love the Golden State Warriors or the Buffalo Sabres. Like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, no way. How? Where are you from? Oh, do you know so and so from this school? No, you don't. But guess what? I went there. I went to the Quaker Steak and Lube in Youngstown, Ohio. And now we have something to talk about. Randy says best wings in America, by the way.
Wow. Okay. I was gonna kind of go off that.
Yeah, sorry for Vince Vaughning that a little.
That's fine. One of my one of my best friends, Allegra, is like an amazing conversationalist. And her family in general is like this. They just when you sit down at a dinner table with them, you like feel like you're giving them the autobiography of your life,
Mhm.
and it's all just their conversational magic. They kind of do that. They start like more broad, but then like start digging in. I would say for me, finding the like, oh, do you know this person can like lead to like, oh, well, like not really, or like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's great, cool, yeah, and then that dies.
Mhm.
One thing Allegra does is like, oh, you grew up in Saratoga? Oh my gosh, are your parents still there? Oh, your cousins there? What do
Nope.
you like, what are your so and so's are still there? Tell me
Yeah.
about this.
Mhm.
What's like one childhood memory you have?
She goes with, like, very
She goes
open-ended, like,
like
squishy
full
questions.
deep,
Yeah.
like, what were the summers like there growing up as a kid? That must have been magical with the weather being like how it was. Like,
You probably feel like a celebrity when you talk to her
and
about
so
it. You're just like, "Oh
you
my
just start
god."
talking to her, and all of a sudden you're telling her like your life story about one time when you were in fifth grade and you like went on a field trip to like inner space caverns and you saw the
The
difference between
stalactites.
stalactites and stalagmites or
Ooh,
whatever.
on the spot, what's the difference?
I don't know. One of them hangs. There's like a whole.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No, fuck
Okay.
no, I don't know. I know there's a difference, but I don't know the
But
difference.
yeah, see, then you're talking about that, and then one of you's Googling it, and then you're like, wow, interesting.
Mhm.
That reminds me of my geography teacher in sixth grade, blah, blah, blah. And then you like have fully just gone off the rails into conversation versus like, oh, you're in finance? I minored in finance.
Sick.
And then that's the end of the conversation. You know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing there.
The
Oh,
other
you live in New York? Cool. I lived in New York. Do you
No,
go
you
to
gotta
Jim
ask, what are
Sloon?
dude, what are your cross streets?
Oh, you've never been there before? Cool. Now we have nothing. Now we've ended the conversation.
You gotta dig in.
So
But
you got to ask like open ended, and it's hard. It's hard to like segue into that,
Mhm.
especially like I just made the parents blunder asking you about Saratoga, but we got to either dive into that
Oh, yeah, we can dive in.
or we're going to breeze past it
Mhm.
and I'm going to ask you something else about Saratoga.
Exactly. Which, I mean, that happens in any conversation. But the other technique, so we're talking about like kind of the squishy part side of it with being conversational. The other technique you can employ to kind of get out of that, to at least first get into some conversation with somebody, is the crutch method, or AKA the third person method.
Yes.
Like everybody's like, how do you go up to a girl at a bar? You involve somebody else.
The triangle.
You get the triangle. You run the triangle offense, Sally.
Yeah.
Run the triangle offense. Back to the Princeton days.
Total football.
Basketball, but
Both.
yeah. You get
That was a Ted Lasso
either
reference. You clearly just went right
No,
over
I
your
don't
head.
watch too much Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Anyway, you get a third person that either knows somebody at the party better than you do, or is there for a different reason. Like it's the reason that growing up, I was a shy kid until we had something to third party on, whether it
Uh-huh.
was like an arts and craft thing, a group project, anything. Well, as soon as you had a commonality, a focus, it could be a bartender, it could be an assignment, it could be Randy at the bar. But as soon as I had that third thing to like bounce off of, I thrived.
Yeah.
So employ that method in social situations. If you're with your significant other's friends, get your significant other involved because they might have a commonality that they know they can exploit, and boom, boom, boom. With your friends of friends, get that friend involved. And then at some point, the person that you have third partied with is going to see you spreading your wings and just kind of peel off, and you've left the nest and you're on a one-on-one conversation with somebody, and then you start to employ the open-ended stuff.
Yeah. I think letting go of a lot of the anxiety that we all have about talking to someone we don't know, not knowing details of their life, worrying about bringing up stuff that is uncomfortable for them or not remembering. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay if you met a friend of a friend and you don't remember the fact that they're like an ER nurse.
Mhm.
Cause you'd be like, oh, yeah, you told me that last time. That's so great. Like, and then just keep going.
Mhm.
Cause no one expects you to know all the shit of their life.
No, but you know what's like, it's such a cool, I mean, this is not to get, like, super deep, but it's so cool that this is why I wanna open a bar, by the way, that meeting people is one of my favorite things in the world because everybody has this third 20 to 90 year story that they can tell, right? Like, you can get somebody's autobiography
Yeah.
at like, what happened after that? Where'd you go to like, what how are you here right now after 34 years of life? Like, how the fuck did we end up here?
Right.
And you have such a cool story to tell to get to that moment that every conversation, if you want to, can be like, "How are you here right now with me?" The possibility of which is so fucking infinitesimal that it's just cool. And then you can dig into that and keep going on that thread if you really want to and get existential with it. But that's something that that's the reason I love meeting people so much. 'Cause everybody has a story to why they're here right this second. I think that's so cool. Anyway.
Just be like Brett. Be exactly like Brett.
Yeah, how do you be more conversational? Yeah, just do all
Just
that.
do Brett.
Let's do the next one, Sal. Hey guys, how do y'all keep a good work-life balance? I'm currently struggling with maintaining a consistent workout routine while working long shifts, but obviously plenty of people do this. There's no way for me to work out before work, and by the evening, I am exhausted. Do I need a different job or different hours, more sleep at night, etc.? I just don't understand how people have a job that pays the bills and lets them have free time. You're not the only one that struggles with this.
This is the most common, probably like in my 20s grinding sentiment.
Mhm.
And it's very easy to get into this hole when you're on social media or even talking to your friends at work, your coworkers, and comparing yourself
Sure.
because you
Yeah.
see your favorite fitness blogger or you are talking to your coworker who works out for an hour and a half every morning. You have different lives, you have different needs. You got to give yourself some grace. I was like this when I was an ICU nurse. I felt like I need to work out, even though I'd been like standing on my feet all day. I feel like this now. Like
Mhm.
I am working 10-hour days, but I'm like, I need to go home and work out. I
Shouts
also have
to
like a
yoga.
kid
Mhm.
and I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Like I got up
Mhm.
at 6 and by the time I get home at 6, usually, I'm very tired and I have to like make dinner. Then I just want to decompress.
Totally. Yeah.
I think what I have found for me that works the best is really, first of all, give yourself some grace. Yes, it's important to be active. Yes, it's important to move your body, work out, etc., eat healthy, drink a gallon of water a day. All the like little check boxes that we all put on ourselves that you say like on a
Mhm.
Monday, like I'm going to start off and be so healthy and then you don't succeed with that. I think what I've realized as I've gotten older, and this is still a daily struggle for me, is set small goals and like keep the expectations real low. For me, even though the 20-minute like stretch yoga routine I did yesterday for the first time in 3 months was like probably pathetic to like real fit Sally a couple months ago,
Mhm.
it was something. So 20 minutes was enough for me to be like, okay, at least I checked the box. It's like the same thing as like if the only thing you succeeded in doing that day was taking your athletic greens or making your bed, good job, you did one thing.
Boom.
And I think we get in this mindset, especially just based on how we are as a society, where you watch other people be successful, quote unquote, around you, and you see the grass is greener because you think that they're like living this great life, but you don't know what's going on in their life and how they're making that work. And maybe they like that's the way they're coping with stress and things like that. But I think it's really easy for people to be like, I'm going to do all of these things. And you
Mhm.
set way too many goals at once, being like, I'm going to work out. I'm also going to eat low carb. all week, and I'm not gonna drink except for on the weekends, and I'm also gonna call 3 of my friends, and I'm also gonna,
Not spend money or something
I'm
like that.
not spending any money, and, I'm gonna only eat in and I'm not eating out, and, like, you set 10 goals, and then you set yourself up for failure
Mhm.
because 'cause you're like, "I didn't meet all 10
And
goals,"
even if you do half of them, which is like a
which is
obviously a
amazing.
huge step, you're like, "Oh, I failed because I got a 50 on the test."
I got a 50 on the test, and I got a takeout
Yeah,
burger
yeah.
instead of making, the zucchini I had in my fridge. So, you've gotta, learn to let go of that. It's okay. Also, I think the hardest thing to realize still, it's human nature, is that habits take time to form. So,
Mhm.
working out, even if you're like, "Okay, we're gonna start small. I am going to literally just go on a 15-minute around my block
Hot girl
walk,
walk. Your boy.
hot girl walk, whether it's in the morning or at night." 15 minutes is, doable. You can do 15 minutes.
Mhm. You
Put on
totally
this
can do 15 minutes.
podcast and listen to it
Yeah,
for 15-minute increments.
that's a good way to do it. Just, hey, if you're on this if you're listening to this podcast out there, question number 3 person, you don't sit down until the end of this podcast.
Yeah, do something.
Even if it's around the house.
Yeah,
It doesn't
even
have to
if
be,
you're
just be on your feet.
doing some squats while you watch TV. I always felt like that was copping out because I was like, I'm not actually going to the gym and running, or
Mhm.
I'm not doing this whole thing. And then I realized, especially becoming a mom, it's like, I'm going to take the time when I can get it. And at least give yourself the okay, we're going to start really, really, really small, really small.
Mhm.
And then just do that every day for a week if you can. And then if you miss it, don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel bad if you on Thursday decide to go to happy hour instead of
Doing your 15-minute
doing
walk.
your 15-minute walk.
Mhm.
Live your life. It's going to be okay. I spent so much time in my 20s stressing about not living the perfect life and not
Mhm.
reaching my potential. And sometimes you just need to do your job, and then you need to decompress, and then you need to go to sleep. And sometimes you need to do your job, and then you need to go to a happy hour, and then you need to get really, really drunk, and then you need to be hungover for all weekend. That's what it is.
That's life.
It is what it is. Like, if you spend your whole time worrying about, I'm never going to be healthy enough, I'm not working out enough, you're doing yourself more harm because you're
Mhm.
worrying about the
Then you're
fact that you're
putting
not doing it.
anxiety into the equation, and that has physical manifestations, obviously. So,
But I think the key for me, especially when I'm working long hours, is start really small. Do not think that you need to go do an hour
mm,
long workout.
P90X routine.
Right. Do 100 squats.
Yeah, which you can literally do wherever you're sitting or standing right now. You can rock that.
Right.
Do
And
the
then be like, okay,
The Sally plank method. 5 30-second planks.
yeah,
Couple
5
squats,
30-second plank.
do
And
some
then
knee
be
push-ups, and then
like,
get out.
the more you do that,
The more you're gonna want to
the
do it.
more you're going to want to do it. But I always felt like that was a cop out. I was like, I need to start. I still to this day, even the 20 minutes last night, I was like, I really should be doing a 45-minute whole shit
Yeah, and
thing.
it's human nature to be like, "Oh, well, I did this, but I need to be better." Especially for people like us who are competitive and ambitious,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be you're just gonna want to do
This is
more. Like,
why
this is
I've
not I'm not good enough. I need to do
never
more.
run
Yeah.
a half marathon, is because I'm like, I need to start on mile 30. I need to go 13
Right.
miles day one.
I'm the same exact way. I would just be like, "No, well, like the 1 mile trainer? No, no, no."
And
Like,
I'm horrible at the training. Thinking about training for multiple months and slowly working up something is so hard to wrap my mind around, which is also the issue with stretching. Randy, I'm looking straight at you,
ooh,
because when you stretch and you can barely touch your toes, you're like, okay, I give up because I should be able to do the splits right now. And then you just stop doing it.
mhm.
That's human nature. We want things automatically.
And
So you
to be the
gotta
best at them immediately.
set low goals, really, really small ones,
Uh,
really low bar.
Really low bar. And if you wanna write your thoughts down perhaps and just, like, maybe follow along in your journey, maybe getting stuff off your mind via the written word is your thing? How about Squarespace?
What a segue.
How about Squarespace? Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. Stand out with a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything. Your products, content you create, even your time. kind of like what we do at Wash Media,
Yeah.
which is built on Squarespace, by the way. You can have member areas. Like Squarespace makes it easy for creators to monetize their content and expertise in a way that fits their brand. With member areas, you can unlock a new revenue stream for your business and free up time in your schedule by selling access to gated content like videos, online courses, or newsletters, plus email campaigns. How about this? Will, your husband, famously doing an email campaign with these Slams Laptop Shut hats that are about to sell out again. So if you're hearing this podcast, they're probably gone. Sorry.
They're probably gone, but you can check.
Stand out in any inbox with Squarespace email campaigns, collect email subscribers, and convert them into loyal customers. Start with an email template and customize it by applying your brand ingredients like site colors and logo. Built-in analytics measure the impact of every send. And like I said, those analytics, use insights to grow your business. Learn where your site visits and sales are coming from and analyze which channels are most effective. Improve your website and build a marketing strategy based on your top keywords or most popular products and content. Wash Media is built on Squarespace. It's basically a website builder that you can create a brand. I mean, it's awesome. So
Yeah.
here's the deal. Check out squarespace.com/mailin for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code MAILIN to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Again, squarespace.com/mailin for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, offer code MAILIN to save 10% off your first purchase of a website. Sally,
I'm very excited about this next
here we
one.
go.
Here we go. Hey, Brett and Sally. My boyfriend's sister is involved in an MLM. She's all about selling essential oils. While I'm not opposed to their potential benefits, I also work in healthcare and have a degree in science, and am not sold on them being as curative as she would like me to think. I'm also not made of money and not interested in paying her prices or getting involved in selling these. She just DM'd me for the third time. The first time I said if I ever wanted something, I'd let her know. The second time I ignored it. How do I get her to stop coming to me without offending her? Do I get my boyfriend involved? We've only been dating for 6 months, so I'm still trying to make a good impression on the family. I know you're going to say honesty is the best policy, but I need help with the script. Thanks so much. Okay.
Multi-level marketing, Sally.
I have talked about this book before.
Okay.
Melissa Urban, The Book of Boundaries, but she recently posted to Instagram about her boundaries regarding MLMs, the person that's
Interesting.
hounding you about MLMs.
Yes.
And I'm going to try to go back and find it and if this person wants to DM me, I will find it for her and send it to her. But the gist of it, and again, the Book of Boundaries is like, there's a green, a yellow, a red. So the green is probably exactly how she approached her the first time, which was like, hey, thanks so much for thinking of me. I'll let you know if I need anything. Like, hopefully saying not interested, but
yeah.
The whole point of the MLMs and the people who are selling for the MLMs is they're told, like, don't stop at that. You got to keep pushing even when they're saying no. The yellow for me would be like I'm not interested at this time. Thanks so much. Ignoring is another way to go for it.
Correct.
The red is where we're at now because she hasn't gotten the clue with the first two. And I totally understand where she's coming from because you're 6 months in. You don't want to be like the bitch that.
Yeah, like the impression on the family thing. I get
totally
sure.
Understand.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to be like his sister go back and like tell his mom like, oh, like Sarah was so rude to me, like blah blah blah.
Yeah, she's not buying my stuff.
Right. I think that there is a way to do this without hurting feelings and without like pissing off the family while also being firm.
Correct.
Clear as kind. First of all, my first suggestion is don't get the boyfriend involved per se. You don't want him to like go fight your battle for you and tell his sister like back off. Although sometimes that is necessary when dealing with significant other families. Like sometimes you do need that person to go to bat for you, especially when it comes to like pushy in-laws and things like that.
Sure.
With specific things. But a lot of times it's important to stand up for yourself so you like make it known that you can fight your own battles and not just like, I'm not just gonna like send Will out there to like tell his sister to leave me alone. Right.
Yep.
But in terms of the boyfriend, I would just, like, get his overall vibe on it. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yeah.
Like, be like, "So what do you think about your sister and the
Doing
essential
the
oils?
MLM stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
are you interested in it?" And then if he's like, "God, so annoying," be like, "Okay, I'm glad you said that because 'cause I'm currently trying to, like, let her down and, like, I'm gonna
Absolutely.
talk to her, but I kinda want you on my side for this." And then if he's, like, super into it, then you know to be a lot more careful.
Yeah, and just tread lightly. I don't think you get into the merits of MLM. I
Right.
don't think you like. I don't think you attack the business model.
Correct.
If she believes in it and she's like really into it, you kind of let her figure it out for herself in the long run.
Right.
Like you don't. Especially if it's your sister, it's one thing to be like, okay, well, do it for a little while if you want to, and then we can go from there. But I think you just kind of play the not interested. Thank you for this. I have my own kind of thing with
Right.
essential oils. Like I'm all set,
Yeah. So, I
and being as
totally agree
nice
with
as you
you.
can. Yeah.
Never the way to say no to an MLM person is to not attack their product or,
No,
like,
don't and or the
point out
business
the
model. Yeah,
flaws of the business model or the fact that
the pyramid scheme
right, that
thing.
you don't
Yeah,
think that the essential oils are healing cancer or that you maybe don't believe in LuLaRoe legging prints or whatever the MLM might be.
sure.
It's not worth getting into that argument with them because they have a script to combat all of that.
Mhm.
What I would say here is like and I would even do this if you have her phone number via text instead of like DM to like make it more direct and be like, "Hey, Rebecca, I am not interested in buying or selling essential oils. I don't have that bandwidth right now." Or
Mhm.
I wouldn't even say right now. Just X that out because then she's going to think that she can
Yeah.
contact you later.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have the bandwidth with work and my personal life to take on something else. I'm also not interested in these for myself. Good
To
luck.
buy, right. Yeah, exactly. I don't wanna sell, I don't wanna buy. Just I appreciate you. Happy for like, yeah,
I'm glad you have found these helpful in your life.
yeah.
I'm not interested in
Mhm.
making them a part of mine. So you can sandwich it in. You can say, like, glad you found happiness doing this and some
The bad news
success.
sandwich.
And then you can say, yeah, the bad news sandwich. And then you say, I'm not interested in having
Yeah.
these in my life or selling them,
Mhm.
nor do I have the time. Um, but I'm happy that you found something that you like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then that's
totally.
it.
Mhm.
And if she really keeps pushing it, and I'm saying like you've been very firm, don't have the time, not now, not ever. And she's like, but blah blah blah. Be like, Rebecca, this is going to be the last time we're going to talk about it. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And that's all you have to say. And if she really is really pushy,
That's
that's
where
where
you
you
go.
can like say something to your boyfriend, like, hey, she's just like really being pushy, and I don't want to offend her, but I really don't want to do this.
Mhm.
But I think with a firm, hey, not interested. Thanks for thinking of me, but I'm not interested. Glad it's working out for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be
That's all you need.
but don't leave anything up to the future. Don't say right now. Don't say maybe in the future. Maybe I'll let you know if I need anything because that's
Yeah.
going to be like,
It
well,
creates a
there's a door.
yeah. Close the door.
Close the door. Keep it firm.
Yeah.
You got
Amen.
this. You can be kind and clear, and I will try to find her script on it and send it to you.
Perfect.
Great.
Let's get a little heavy, Sally. Hey, Brett and Sally. This question is mainly for Brett. My husband and I have been together for 13 years, married for 4, and we have almost a 1-year-old son. Congratulations. With the birth of our son, this past year should have been one of the happiest of our lives. Sadly, my father in law, my husband's dad, passed away in early December when our son was 5 months old. We found out he had cancer in late September, and that progressed rapidly, and seeing his decline was heartbreaking. As if that wasn't sad enough, my mother in law is now also losing a battle with cancer, and we found out in February that she was diagnosed. She has refused treatment and has been too weak for it, so told she may pass away this week. I'm absolutely devastated and heartbroken for my husband and our family, and so my question is twofold. How can I support my husband in his grief and the situation of losing both his parents so close together? This time last year, we were about to have a baby, and both parents were seemingly healthy. Now, neither of his parents will be here for our son's first birthday. And two, how do we move forward together and cope with these losses? Much love. So, obviously, intimately familiar with the
Yeah.
situation. It sucks, and there's really no two ways about it. Your husband's going through it. He is, they're lucky to have seen the birth of your first son. That's like awesome, and they're super appreciative and grateful. Like that's just know that that's cool. Um, but on the grief side of things, how do you support your husband? Is like I've struggled with how to have people support me
Yeah.
going through it, and I've had incredible people in my life from when my mom passed, when my dad was sick, and so with cancer, there's like this weird thing where the people you are closest to are in the worst situation imaginable,
Yeah.
but there's almost like a relief when they when they're out of pain,
Right.
when there's like no more discomfort, there's no more pain. You've been able to say things you need to say or get clarity on things. And so as awful as cancer is, I think it makes the grieving process easier because you have had sort of this long goodbye
Versus like the sudden goodbye that you
versus the
had
sudden
with your
goodbye
mom.
that I had with my mom
Right.
that, the pain is less, the anxiety is less because there's no lead up,
Right.
but
You don't
also
have the
then you
like anticipatory stuff.
right. But you also have the long tail of like,
Right.
I wish I could have said this. What were we thinking about this? And so with your husband, just know that the grief is going to be intense, comes in waves, always does, but there's some sort of like relief on the end of a cancer battle when
Yeah.
we've done everything we can and the fight has been fought. And even just being around through that, however long they make it through, is something to be proud of. So, how do you support them? It's just know that each day is going to be like different. Some days I wanted all the people in the world to hug and be around and text me, and some days I wanted to go for a walk and talk to absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
So you have to be a mind reader in a way. You can't say, "How are you doing today?" or "What can I do for you today?" every day, because just know that there's some days he's not gonna wanna talk to you, and I don't
And
know, there's
do you think there's a level of being the supporter person to try to not take it personally when you
absolute
get
yeah,
pushed away?
cannot take it personally because there's
Yeah.
gonna be days where he's just like, "I wanna go to Whataburger. I wanna watch SportsCenter on my couch and not talk to anybody because
Right.
it's not you, it's not the baby, it's the situation, and he's thinking about mom and dad in his head,
Yeah.
and you can't take it personally because he's gonna at some point, that wave is gonna subside, and you are gonna be his world again. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how it works. Um, so support is just be present, be sort of flexible, um, because losing your parents that close together, which is something I dealt with, is not supposed to happen. There's no playbook.
Right.
There's playbooks for grief and playbooks for going through cancer battles, but losing like the two most important people in your world
The span of a year.
in the span of a year
A
is
lot.
not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Um, and so you just have to be flexible. You have to take those low moments that are going to happen and work through them and talk through them and let them cry and let them like just keep their memory alive uh, through talking about them or like what did they do for your birthday, like that kind of stuff. That my support system and like Rachel and you guys and everybody's been unbelievable. So flexibility, um, mind reader status, which I know is so dumb to say, but like you kind of have to just know if he's in a mood or know if he
Yeah.
wants love or know if he wants to get his mind off things. And you get better at that, I think, with time.
And being probably his wife will be it puts you at an advantage because you know him best.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and how do you move forward together and cope is just time. I mean,
Yeah.
it really It really is one of those things, like keeping their memory alive, keeping some sort of tradition alive, keeping them there with you somehow, and with your husband. But coping is just situation by situation, person by person, and time.
Did you go to therapy at all after the death
Mhm.
of either of your parents? Did you find it helpful? I know some people it is helpful, some people it's not. Like, is that something she should try to
Yeah.
push for, or to kind of wait and see how he does? And
I did therapy after my dad passed, and I thought it was helpful in that I just got to talk a
yeah,
lot, because you're asked questions that totally unbiased, third party. It's not a friend, not a family member, um, not a girlfriend, like,
right,
which all I've been lucky enough to have, when things were happening
right,
that have all been fantastic. But I went to therapy not really knowing what to expect and not really having a goal,
yeah,
um, because with my dad, like, again, long, long, like, almost 3-year cancer battle,
mhm,
had a lot of time to say what we needed to say and ups and downs, and so it was sort of the grieving had taken all the stages already, and the pretty basically was the last one. "Oh, you're gonna miss him." Like,
yeah,
that sucks. But I think therapy is something to it's hard to be like, "Try it. See how you think." If there's a way to do that,
right,
love trying it.
yeah,
Um, Sometimes you have to, like, lock in for a month or whatever it is, so it's
right,
it's tough, but if there's a way to do it, I think that's a great thing to try. It's not like there's no magic formula. There's if to therapy and grief, there's no magic like, "Oh, you're gonna go in and come out feeling like $1,000,000." Doesn't really work like that, but it does give you the opportunity to just say what's on your mind, to answer questions from a person that doesn't know you from Adam and kind of work through stuff, and so, for me, it was helpful. Do I still do it? Uh, Not necessarily, but would I do it? Of course. Like,
yeah.
there's nothing, like, keeping me from going back, but, um, I
Can
don't
I
know.
ask
It's
you
just
one
yeah.
more question? Him being a newer dad,
Mhm.
do you think that there are any I think we say this a lot, there's, like, no wrong way to grieve. Are there
Yeah.
any situations for you that you felt like were maybe more dangerous that you were like, "I probably need someone here"? Like, is there anything she should be looking out for if he, like, maybe takes the bottle or something like that, that is, like, you kind of need to
Yeah.
let the person work through it, but also you want him to be safe,
Right, yeah,
you know?
if you start noticing, like, I was lucky enough I don't really have an addictive personality.
Right.
I didn't need to numb the pain, I guess.
Yeah.
I was fine sitting in it and just kind of going through it and getting better on it. Like, I didn't need to black out
Right.
to forget about stuff. Didn't need to pop pills to forget about stuff. If that's becoming a habit, yeah, then you reach out to somebody, talk to somebody,
Okay.
if it's dangerous, obviously, because, like,
I
it's
mean, I know you never got there, but
yeah,
I don't wanna tell someone how to grieve,
totally,
but
yeah,
it's obviously, as if this were Will and I was watching him go through this, I
mhm.
think that there's a level of, like, I want what's best for you, but
Sure,
you also
yeah.
need to, like, let them
Yeah,
do what they need
you
to
wanna be
do,
hands off until you
need to be
need to be
hands-on.
hands on, right,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to look at it, like, he's gonna struggle with sleep, just be present, but not pushy. Be hands off until you need to be hands on, and I just like, there's no easy way to say that, and it's gonna change sort of day by day, um, again, we're trying to give something a playbook that has no playbook, but I guess that's the best way to put it, and sometimes, like, the thing I always said made me feel the best, like, people that text you and say, "I'm so sorry for this, and what can I do?" And the people that it worked the best for me were, like, That sucks. Let me sit in the suck with you,
Just like acknowledging how shitty it was.
acknowledging pain and the suckiness and just like,
Yeah.
dude, that blows. That shouldn't happen. And let me sit in the suck with you.
Yeah.
And
I think it's scary for people to do that. I think they
totally,
want to
because
say
it's
like, "I'm here if you need anything."
you don't
But
want to be
like,
brought down
right.
by somebody else's pain, like or
Yeah.
grief or whatever it may be. And
Yeah.
I get that from somebody who's going through it. I'm like, dude, if you're doing your thing or you have like a newborn, like I don't want you coming in and shooting the shit about, you know,
Well, and
dead
I
mom and
think I
dad.
think
But
people we are hardwired to like stay positive,
mhm,
think of the silver lining, like he's in a better place. What a great man. All of that
yeah,
instead of being like, this is a huge loss. I am so bummed. I know you are like,
yeah,
this is awful.
hmm,
And it's okay to just say that. And I think people are really
yeah,
scared to say that. People are really like, I can't say it's awful because I don't want to make him feel awful about it. Guess
exactly.
what? He feels awful.
And it changed my perspective because I was always a, oh, so sorry for your loss. Like, what can I do? Can I,
Yeah.
and because that's sort of the makes your conscience better. And
Yeah.
that was me. And then I went through it and I was like, oh, that has changed the way I
Help.
help other people going through something
Yeah.
similar. Just like, I'm here. It sucks. Let's let it suck together.
Yeah.
I'm there. Like, let's go, I hesitate to say have a drink, but let's go have a beer and talk about my dad and your dad and how fucking cool they were
Yeah.
and how it sucks.
And how it sucks that they're not
Or
here.
have like go for a walk or,
Yeah.
that's what helped me the most. And that may be totally different,
Yeah.
but that's my playbook.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you guys for being there for me. And uh reach out to me individually if you have specific questions. Or if your husband wants to reach out to me and he's like, hey dude, my wife listens to you on the internet. I'm going through something that you went through.
Yeah.
What's up? I'll be like, let's talk,
It's
doc.
always helpful to know someone else is going through the same shit you're going through.
Exactly. Exactly. Something that you could do with your husband to get your mind off of things. Maybe cook together.
Cook a little healthy meal.
Healthy meal. Thanks to our friends over at Green Chef, you can fill up with protein packed. Our newest collection of recipes fit for a high protein dietary preference. Choose from 3 weekly menu items, each including at least 40 grams of protein per serving. You can expect a variety of satisfying and flavorful recipes like Greek chicken salad with mint olive tapenade, enchilada spiced turkey bowls, and almond crusted barramundi. I think that's a fish.
It is a fish.
Hell yeah.
As Will has been more pescatarian, vegetarian friendly, we've been getting a lot more green chefs that are pescatarian friendly.
Little pesco.
But also shouts to the kale flatbreads because
Ooh, they go.
they go hard. I added chicken to mine, which was a little tip from Green Chef. They were like, "Hey, want some added protein?
Whoa.
Want some
Hey.
animal protein?"
Hmm.
Chicken to mine, none on his. Both still go hard.
Pretty bomb.
Yeah.
They have a little like glaze to that too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Choose from 50 plus weekly menu and market items with the option to mix and match meals from different dietary preferences in the same box without changing your plan. Like you can order vegan one day and keto the next, or Mediterranean pesco, like your
Yeah.
boy. Craving more servings of a favorite recipe? Well, now you can double the portions in your weekly order with just one click. More customization than ever. In addition to swapping protein in any meal that features chicken, beef, or salmon for USDA certified organic ground beef, chicken, sockeye salmon, and anything. You can also add fish to select vegan and veggie recipes for an added protein boost, like Sally just mentioned. The number one meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you and not the other way around is Green Chef. So here's the deal. Go to greenchef.com/mail60 and use code mail60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Again, go to greenchef.com/mail60 and use code MAIL60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Again, the number one meal kit for eating well, Green Chef. Last one, Sal.
Hey, Brett, Sally, and Randy.
Ooh,
Wow. Austin bachelor party question I need some input on. Planning my friend's bachelor party around F1 weekend in Austin this year. There's a debate in the group chat about whether to book our Airbnb in central Austin downtown area or closer to Lake Travis. I'm on team closer to the city. Pros, closer to restaurants, bars, nightlife, cheaper Ubers, etc. But you get more bang for your buck closer to the lake, further from downtown. Would love to hear your thoughts on what y'all on what the move is or other areas to look for where we aren't thinking. Thanks. Oh
Wow.
wow. Randy's
Randy
getting
literally
mic'd up.
grabbed the
Here we
mic.
go.
Oh, well, you're mic too. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, go closer to the city. This is an easy thing. Don't go Lake Travis. It's going to be forever. Get Ubers out there. It's going to be expensive Ubers. You're going to be able to do nothing. If you want to do water stuff, go
Wow.
on Lake Austin or Lady Bird Lake. Tell your friends they're idiots if they want to go to Lake Travis.
Wow. He drops an idiot on them.
I hard agree with Randy. Hard
Do you
agree with Randy.
You really?
Yes, I
Okay.
have done both.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at Lake Travis, you're out there. So
Correct.
if your whole weekend is going to be lake stuff, then that's fine.
Correct.
But you're committing yourself to the lake.
It's
far away.
Exactly. Yep.
We did this one time. We were way out in like almost Spicewood.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to take a
Mhm.
bus. We had like a party bus take us.
Sure.
Because that's the other thing. You're not going to get an Uber to come pick you up in Lago Vista.
And especially if you have like 12 guys,
Right.
then you're really
So
asking
you're going to have to
for it. Yep.
organize a party bus to come get you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to come get you, take you out there, like take you to Uber. Then you have to round everyone up to get them home, which in general is very difficult. It's like herding cats.
Yes.
I think, especially if it's Formula One weekend, it is definitely going to be expensive, but
Sure
it's
is.
way worth it to be downtown where stuff's going on. If that's the vibe. If you want to do lake stuff, that's
Mhm.
fine. But it's also like, there's a lot of lakes everywhere. Do you have to come to Austin Formula One weekend to go to the lake?
Yeah, that's the argument is like you can get you don't have to be, if you're gonna do lake stuff all weekend, you might as well go get a dope Airbnb somewhere that's not Austin.
Like literally
not
like on
during F1
LBJ or
weekend.
something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you're there for the lake, then just go for the lake.
Correct.
But I think what a lot of bachelorette parties in Austin do is they do the split. They do like one
Mhm.
barge day on the lake or boat day,
which is
and
very
then they
fun.
do the going out in Austin. I personally think bag the lake. I wouldn't even go to the lake. There's so much to do downtown that like go get lunch somewhere, walk around, hit bars. You know, if you really, really want to be on the lake, then I think do something on Lady Bird Lake or Lake
I was
Austin.
gonna say Lady Bird Lake or split the difference and go Lady Bird Lake or Lake Austin, both of which offer barges and stuff like that. Now,
I would know because they're always going by our house. Always.
Lady Bird Lake, you can't. You can paddleboard, you can kayak, you can barge. You cannot ski,
Correct.
wake surf. Now, if you go to Lake Austin, you can do all of those things. It's closer. Probably more expensive
It's
than Lake
definitely more
Travis.
expensive. So Lake
But-
Travis, it's a lot easier. There's the inventory is a lot higher
Correct.
and it's cheaper.
And I will say, if you're going to herd cats, it's much easier to go from the city party bus to Lake Travis and back than it is to go Lake Travis party bus to the city and back.
Correct.
Um,
This is, I think, a big miss in the bachelor party planning industry is that people see that Austin is near a lake and don't understand that Lake Travis is 45 minutes away. at
that
closest.
agreed. I do like, obviously, if you want to read a column by yours truly, it's a little choose your adventure on your Austin bachelor party.
Yeah,
I'll put the link to that in the description of this episode.
love it.
It's 9,000 words, and I would really appreciate it if you read it. But the lake,
Spent a lot of time on it.
the lake house obviously gives you like the bedrooms and the kitchen, and it's bigger. But
And you can play beer pong and you can go water skiing, but that's not what you're coming to Austin for.
Exactly. If you want the vibe, and you basically have a crash pad because you're going to be at the house 12% of the time,
Correct.
and you're sleeping there. That's about it. If you want a pregame or shower or whatever, obviously. But Austin's meant to be enjoyed out in the world of Austin.
Right. If you go to Lake Travis, you're going to spend all the time at the house and maybe go to Oasis for one meal and then spend an astronomical amount of money on getting a party bus to go to 2 bars and then herd everyone back
Correct.
at
Yep.
at 1:30 in the morning, and it's going to
Mhm.
be a logistical nightmare.
And that 45-minute ride back, people are
Is
gonna
gonna
fall
suck.
asleep. You'll be hammered. You might have a guy that's got a yerk. Like, you're
Yeah.
better off being central and going out from there than being out and coming in.
Yeah.
Unless you are all just, we're going lake. We're
Yeah.
just doing the lake and we just want to golf because Lake Travis outside Austin has some golf options.
Yeah.
But you're giving up nightlife, restaurants, bars.
You're
things to
giving
do.
up the essence of Austin. Lake
Correct.
Travis and Austin are two totally separate entities in my mind.
They should be looked at as such. Agreed.
I think we killed that.
I think
Good
we did
job,
too.
Randy.
Although, if you're with guys and you're just saying, I'm gonna saddle up and we're gonna lake life, live lake love, or whatever the fuck it is.
Lake life love.
Go Lake
Live,
Austin. Look on Lake Austin.
love. Yeah.
Look on Lake Austin because you might be able to sneaky do both. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay for it, but
It's going to be expensive. But
yes, ma'am. That's going to do it for us today. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the show. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That is 888-362-6245. Or you can write in the link to the Twitter bio at Mail In Podcast. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
I am Brad Merriman at Schmerriman on both of those platforms. Shouts to Randy for his dropping in. He needed to drop in and answer that question. Shouts to intern Lauren on the ones and twos. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.